Hey everybody, welcome to Geek Addicts.
Hello and welcome back to Geek Addicts, the pop culture podcast where we get locked in a series of seemingly endless cubed rooms where we can't get out, but it's okay because each of us has a purpose. My name is Matt. With me, Bill Barber. How's it going, Bill?
Good. Just watch out for the acid.
Yeah, among other things.
Yeah. I'm to say I'm a hot mess would be taking it lightly right now. I've been going through the ringer this week.
Yeah,
it's been one of those weeks. I have had a massive migraine like all day, which was great.
I hope you're doing okay now.
Yeah, it's better. I took an Advil and that seemed to fix the problem, but who knows?
Excedrin extra strength. I live by it. Excedrin extra strength will obliterate any headache.
Yeah. Other than that, I also got like this scar on my thumb that hasn't gone away in 4 days. That's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just one of those fucking weeks, man. End of the year is coming up. Dealing with financial stuff. It's just the world. It's like everything. Everything's great.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm totally with you there. I got my transfer at work, so I'm in my department now.
Nice.
So my anime watching. Well, yeah, it's nice. It's cool being able to do something different. But my anime watching is going to take a significant nosedive because it's not the kind of job that I can sit and watch anime while doing. So Alex might catch up to me, assuming she's not already where I'm at. But
I don't know.
She may get the leg up on me in this last quarter.
We'll find out. I'm ahead of where I was last year, so that's already a success for me. Yeah, I think I'm at 60 something. So hey, that's good for me. That's good for me for
there you go.
Once. Yeah, I guess going over some of the stuff I watched. Was Kaiju over by the last time we recorded?
I believe so. I think it's been over for a week or two now.
Oh, you know what it was? I don't think we had watched the episode yet by the time when we did the last recording.
I still haven't. I'm giving Cindy one more week to actually sit down and watch them with me, and if she doesn't watch them by then, I'm watching them without her.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I'll give her a grace period, but because we have been watching it together throughout season 2, but if she takes too long, I'm just gonna go ahead and watch it without her. Not waiting forever.
Nice. Yeah, I finished up Kaiju. My Dress Up Darling ended this week. I'm actually really sad that's over now.
Yeah, but it's okay because we're getting Spy Family soon. So
we are. The first episode's already out, subbed. Waiting for the dub, so that'll be.
We shouldn't be waiting too long.
For season 2, it was like a 2-week buffer.
That seems like it's pretty standard.
Yeah. Other than that, I watched the new Fragrant Flower episode shortly before recording.
How'd you feel about that one?
It's good. It's definitely a slow burn. Burn. One thing I will say, I like the animation's gorgeous. I like the characters. I like the story. The voice actors are good. But whoever's directing this anime, not the best. Not the best. Some of the deliveries are odd.
Yeah, well, I think it's mostly what's her name? Kaoruko, was that her name?
Yeah, the main.
I think it's mostly on her part. And I think that's mostly just because she's not super used to voice acting.
It's that. It's also the direction. Like some of the lines just feel very wooden at times. Um,
Mhm.
and I noticed that's a problem with some Netflix animes. I just feel like Netflix is still getting used to the whole dubbing game. Like they don't have great voice directors yet, or people behind the scenes.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, I was a little bit weird about this episode. By the end of it, I was happy with what we had because like any other of these kinds of shows, or this kind of romance show would have spent multiple episodes on just this one little thing. But the fact that it was resolved, everything was cool by the end of the episode. It was like, okay, now we can move along, you know. And that's one thing that I've really liked about this series. Even when it has its slow moments where I'm kind of like, all right, can we move on? Like it'll last maybe 10 minutes and then it'll move on and we'll be at something different.
yeah, I'm getting a little bit of a Kaguya-sama vibes. Not so much like the overall progression, but just the whole like it kind of. I'm amazed how quickly the main two they've pretty much already established that they're in love, and now it's just kind of a
Yeah.
case of when's it going to happen.
Yeah. Like because I'm not crazy about her friend there. Maybe I'll warm up to her in time, but I do like that like we spent most of the episode kind of dealing with her and her feelings with the whole thing, which you know it's whatever. It's one of those things that's going to happen at some point or another. But the fact that like you know they had their conversation last week, and then she like immediately was like, "Hey, I talked to your guy there, and I told him to leave you alone, and he told me to fuck off, and I guess I have to accept that." And then they had,
He
and then
told
like
me
they're
he told me very nicely to fuck off.
yeah, very respectfully told me to fuck myself. But I love that they had that whole conversation. They're like, "All right, we're cool, it's all good," and then like Rentaro reaches out and he's like, "Hey, I want to talk to her and just kind of clear things out." And it's like, "Oh, she's right here." He's like,
Yeah,
"Okay, let's meet up."
I
5 minute
love
conversation later, it's like we're friends now. Yay!
I love how her name's Kokoru, right?
The
Or Karako, whatever.
Karuko, yeah,
Kuriko. I love how she has like no chill, like she does not give a fuck what she says sometimes. Um,
yeah, right.
because like I love the line too where
And
she's like
also,
having
go on.
I like she's having that whole heart to heart with her friend in the playground, and they're talking about the past where like they were playing on the monkey bars, and they're like, yeah, it's like that time where you totally ate shit on the monkey bars, and she's like, yeah, that was fun. It really hurt though at the time. I'm just like, that's funny. Like there's moments
She's
like that
like,
where the
"Hey, I'm gonna
direction's
play
really
the
good.
monkey bars."
Mm, yeah. Um no,
Good shit.
it's been good. I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm not sure how it must be getting a second season because 12 or 13 episodes doesn't seem like enough.
No, because I've been hearing about this series before the anime even came out, like
Mm.
to a, and it was always very positive. So I feel like it's one of those things where a second season is assumed. Like it's probably already in production.
You hope so. Comey still didn't get a second chance, so I still Netflix. I'm always hesitant with, um, but you never know.
True. This is true.
Um,
Um,
I'm also
aside from
official.
that, hmm?
I was gonna say I'm officially caught up on My Hero.
Do you watch Vigilantes yet?
I did. I've watched everything so far, including You're Next.
How'd you feel about Vigilantes?
It was good. I liked I kind of like that it's a prequel before stuff like because we got some cool moments with like Mr. Izawa and like Midnight. Um, I
Hmm.
like how Mr. Izawa is kind of just a loner in the series. Um,
Yeah.
I find it interesting. I'm curious about the next season because I'm not 100% sure yet where it's going exactly. But
Hmm.
it was fun. It was a fun watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because that's the final season of My Heroes out now too. Still waiting on the dub for that as well, but
Yeah, it was actually really funny because yesterday in Japan we got the first episodes of My Hero, Spy Family, and One Punch Man all yesterday, and also technically yesterday was Rama 1/2, but we got the dub for that day one. So
yeah, that's one thing Netflix does is the dubs are simultaneous.
Hmm.
So
Oh, and I don't know if this came up in conversation before, but I looked into it because as I was watching the new episode of Ranma, I was like, huh, this music sounds really familiar. I looked it up. It's the same composer who did Inuyasha.
that makes sense.
So it
Yeah,
worked. I really like that, how they had that kind of like, yeah, I guess Easter egg, if you want to call it that.
parallel, anyways. Um, yeah. Other than that, the only other thing I've really been watching is I'm currently watching Made in Abyss. It's a series. I'll leave it at that for now.
Fair. I'm still plugging away at Soul Eater.
Nice.
Slow and steady. But I'm more than half of the way through it. I think I only have like 16 or 17 episodes.
Nice.
And I fucked up, man. So I used some rewards and I ordered some more of the Soul Eater mangas. I accidentally double ordered one and I only need one more. So I
That's the
fucked
worst.
myself. I could have had the whole series and I accidentally got two of the same.
You couldn't cancel one of them.
It was already here by the time
Oh,
I realized it.
That's the worst.
So, but I still only need one more, so it's not a big deal. And I'm kind of spacing it because I just watched it, and apparently the first like third to a half of the manga is covered pretty accurately in the anime. It's mostly like the end, like where the anime ends. Like that's the big diversion.
Was it a case of they caught up with the manga and then they just kind of made their own ending?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah, that happens a lot. Like
Um,
I still think one of the worst cases of that is the original Fruit Baskets anime where they ended it at the true form arc and then they just made up some bullshit ending because that's where the manga was at the time.
it didn't end; it just kind of stopped.
Yeah. Well, they actually made an ending, like, and it was like, huh, it was really bad.
Well, a lot of shows do that. Even some modern shows do it. Like Claymore did it too, and I thought that was really bizarre.
I still think Full Metal Alchemist is still the most infamous with that, where they basically just made an entirely new series.
I mean, it's one of those cases where like if you watch it first, it's not that bad. It's actually pretty fun, pretty good. But if you watch
It's
Brotherhood
more,
first and then you
yeah.
watch it's just like no.
Well, it's really funny when you watch Brotherhood first, and then you watch the original, and you're like, wow, they weren't even fucking close. Like,
No. They didn't,
it's like
they didn't even get the sins right.
no, no, they added like different ones, and I was like, it's like wow, like that. It was interesting, but my god, it wasn't even close.
Hmm.
Yeah,
So yeah, there's that, and I beat the Elite Four in Poke Duel. So I got through that finally.
nice.
Kind of like in a weird void right now, trying to figure out what I'm gonna do next.
Hmm.
Just kind of playing around with a couple different things.
Yeah,
I did
gotta.
see that the House of the Dead remake was only like $250 on Switch, so I ended up picking that up.
Oh, nice, nice. Um,
The motion controls are wonky as fuck on the Switch.
oh, the fucking like weird gyro shit. Yeah, unfortunately,
Yeah, it does not function very well.
no, no. The best the best version of House of the Dead that I could think of is like um the one on the Wii, House of the Dead Overkill. That game's a fucking joy to play.
Yeah, that makes sense. Especially if they're one of those like little the little like plastic gun shell that you can put the Wiimote in.
Yeah.
I
That
could see
game
that being good.
that game's funny because it's like a full-on like parody of like it's like got B-movie aspects and it's like very like self-aware. Like there's a line in that game where
Mhm.
it's like talking about the main character and it's like so and so fucked his mother. So that's why everyone calls him motherfucker. And I'm just like, what the fuck is this game?
Jesus Christ.
It's one of those like amazing
Uh,
it's such a joy. It was also on the Wii, which was really funny at the time.
that is funny because Wii is not a system you associate with stuff like that.
No, but then it has games like Mad World and No More Heroes where you're just like, God damn.
But yeah, I did that, and that was good. I also played a little bit more Borderlands over the weekend, just for shits and giggles.
Yeah, that's a series I've tried to get into. It's never been my thing.
Well, you're not much of a first-person shooter guy.
It's not even that. It's just the humor did nothing for me.
See, I don't even I don't even pay attention to what the characters are saying. I just run out and fucking do missions.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I wanted to mention to you, I'm still totally down to do a watch party for it, but it was put on Hulu when October started. So
Which one? Sorry, you cut out.
I was gonna say my other pick was put on Hulu at the beginning of October.
Oh, okay, good to know.
So that is available there. I like I said, I am still down to do a watch party if you want to, but that is an option now.
Yeah, I guess we'll see how because we have to watch party my pick still. My second pick. I guess we'll see how that goes, and if it runs late, we'll figure it out. But yeah, that's good.
Well, I might, depending on how things go, I might end up having an opportunity to do a watch party like the week we'd actually be recording mine. So, depending on how it is, like we could just have two separate ones.
Okay, that
It
actually
depends
might
on
work.
it depends on how the plans end up going.
Okay, well we'll keep that in mind because that might honestly work better just because it's a lot easier to do them like fresh after. But
yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I guess we've kind of waffled on enough. I guess we could move into the Untitled Darker Than Black segment.
Yes.
All right. So let's do this. I did not prepare.
All right. City under crackdown, moist with tears.
These are the last two standalones, right?
The last two like two-parters.
Okay.
Because after this, it's pretty much just going to be the last three episodes are all like kind of just the crescendo of the series and just finishing it off.
Gotcha. So like,
so probably what'll end up happening is next week we'll just cover the last three and just that'll be it.
Okay. Sounds good. I'll keep that in mind. So yeah, one more and then we can do the supercut of Darker Than Black. That's going to be fucking long. I can already tell.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. We're dealing with some technical issues right now. Oh. All right. Sorry. This week is just going wonderfully.
Yeah. No kidding.
We're back.
Seems like it's working a little bit better now. So hopefully.
Yeah. The audio music's going to be all fucked up, but that's fine at this point.
Yeah. So yeah, the episode started up with this Albert Einstein looking motherfucker doing experiments, and then like all of a sudden this like naked chick shows up.
Yeah, there's a lot of gratuitous nudity in this episode. I was like, okay. Oh no. Okay, you're back.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah, you froze there for a minute.
Now I'm back to medium strength though, so that's good.
Okay, hope for the best. God help us.
Yeah, it's one of those days. So yeah, this naked chick just shows up randomly, and
It's all right. She had very conveniently placed hair.
as you will, and like it was kind of just like a weird like deer in the headlights moment, and then she like kisses him, and he vanishes and leaves his clothes behind.
Yeah,
Uh,
Stuff happens in this episode.
yeah, it sure does. So after that, she kind of vanishes, and it seemed like she's gonna kind of teleporting the other guy we saw before has.
Yep.
Where is it? What the hell? Oh, this summary is all fucked up.
Just like how our connections are going right now.
It started on part 2. That's weird. I guess I'll just wing it. So yeah, like it was another situation where a random guy who was trying to like plant a bomb gets caught for it, and they kind of like come to the conclusion that he was planning on bombing the American embassy this time, and like Kirihara shows up and she's like, hey, like, we're pretty sure he was targeting you guys. Like, do you want some protection? Like, we can help you out. And he's like, nah, we're good. And after a second, like, she leaves all confused and shit. But then we see his secretary, and she looks real familiar. But she's not naked, so you can't really tell right away. Although apparently she's gonna get naked because he's very clearly insinuating some stuff.
Yeah.
But she's like, all right, I gotta go file this paperwork real fast before we do that. And she goes down to the basement, and there's the old man, and you see a familiar face standing next to him. It's the blood guy from the Chinese mafia episodes.
Yeah.
I forget his name.
I did too, to be honest. I kind of forgot who he was at first when he first came back.
It's Robert McCollum.
Yeah.
That guy.
Go 10, yes.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, he's got a score to settle with Hay because he's got like the burns all over his face and shit. But basically he's like, yeah, like, or she's like, yeah, like, I know you got your issues with him, but Amber wants him to join us, so don't kill him. And he's like, yeah, fine, whatever. He's like really annoyed about it. And then I don't remember exactly why Hayes' team had to like break into the American embassy for some reason. I think, were they trying to prevent a bombing or were they trying to cause a bombing? I'm not sure.
It wasn't very clear.
Yeah, well, it seemed like there's definitely some shady shit going on with the syndicate here that they're in. Because we'll just jump ahead. Like the long story short is like there's like this big conspiracy going on, and what the doctor guy is trying to do is they're trying to figure out a way to kind of like access Heaven's Gate, because Heaven's Gate isn't destroyed; it's just inaccessible.
Yeah, they make a whole point about like they're like, oh, it wasn't technically destroyed; it's just not here anymore. And I'm just like,
yeah,
okay. That makes sense, I guess.
Pretty much something like that. Some weird time space dysplasia, something or other like that. But essentially, if they can figure out how to like reactivate it or whatever, then apparently they could just wipe all contractors from existence, and that's apparently what like a lot of different people are trying to make happen. Like this, like the syndicate's kind of involved. the British intelligence agency is involved. Like, all these fucking people are involved in this thing.
Yeah.
And like, I can kind of see it, but at the same time, like, it's like he made such good use of them, though. You want to do that. And basically throughout this whole thing, like, Hay ends up encountering Blood Guy, and they have like their little fight or whatever. And Hay ends up dipping out. The place gets bombed, and Mao's just kind of chilling in a tree waiting for them.
Yeah, as he does.
And then he's like, "Oh wow, this is sure taking a long time." And Amber's sitting like right next to him, and she's like, "Oh, a talking cat." And he's like, fuck."
Yeah, I love the scene too where they show him like in that room, and he's like, "This is bad. This is bad. I must do the only thing I know I can do to get out of a situation like this." He just looks at the camera and just goes, "Meow."
Meow. And he looks like so like fucking like anxious as he's doing it. Like, he's making the most fucked up meow face ever.
Yeah, and I love the fact too that throughout this whole next part, he's like acting like trying to act like a normal cat the entire time, and they're like, "Oh yeah, he's also a contractor. Don't worry about him."
Yeah, I love that scene too with the doctor walks in. He's just like, "Before we have this conversation, how many of you are normal? Like, how many are contractors?" And she's like, "We're all contractors." He's like, I guess my only friend in this room is the cat." It's like, "No, he's a contractor too."
Yeah, he's also a contractor.
It's like, really? Really?
Yeah.
So we totally missed all this. So Troy Baker is like super involved in all these episodes, and he was there at the embassy, like part of the whole thing.
He gets a full-on nude scene too in this fucking episode. Like,
yeah, from the bottom, like looking up too, it was bizarre.
There's a lot of ass shots in this episode.
Yeah. So the naked chick had teleported him, and he obviously left his suit behind. And so he's there too, in like hanging out with like Amber and all them, because they want to talk to him about. Well, he was obviously chasing Amber down because she was part of the British intelligence, and you know they had their whole fucking crazy shit that happened. And basically, he shows up. He's like, "All right, I'll hear you out. Like, tell me what you're gonna tell me, and then I'll use my judgment from that point." And like, she gets super fucking cryptic out of nowhere. She's like, "I can see the future," and he's like, "Prove it." And she's like, "You're gonna die almost immediately after you leave here." And like, my first thought would be like, "So you're gonna kill me?" Which obviously isn't what ends up happening, but like that would have been my first thought. Just like, okay, so it's join you or die is essentially the idea. But I mean, I don't know how much Troy Baker's character knows here about Amber's abilities, but we know that her abilities had to do with time, so it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that she could see the future. So I don't know. We will see. We will see as we go. So they basically just kind of have like this big like basically just chilling, talking the whole time. And like we eventually we get a quick scene of Hay talking to Huang and Yin, and they're trying to figure out what to do. Like, Mao was captured. We don't know how to continue, and it seems like Huang's just like, "What do you mean? What do we do?" Like, he's lost cause. We lost him. He's not part of the group anymore. Like, that's exactly what he would say too. And Hay's just like, "Nah, kind of like that cat."
Yeah, Hay does like the same thing he does every episode. He's like, "No, power, friendship, talk no jutsu, right? Safe friend."
Something like that.
Yeah.
He's like, "No, I'm the only contractor who cares enough to do things like this."
Yeah.
But he also does have that beef with Amber too, so it also kind of like, is he really going there for Mao, or is he going there because he has beef with Amber?
That was my thought the whole time, because I was like, is he using Mao as an excuse, or does he actually care? Like, that was my thought.
It's kind of what it seems like to me, but So like, yeah, she goes over the whole thing, and then Hay ends up breaking in to try and get Mao out, which apparently they were just gonna let him go anyway. So like, whatever. But he breaks in, and he has a whole other big fight with Blood Guy, and basically he ends up encountering Amber, and there's like this weird moment where I think he's like going to zap her or something, and then we start. The weird thing happens where like everything starts kind of resonating and glowing blue. Almost exactly like what happened when Hay was in the gate when he was fighting his friend with a cartoon rocket ship.
Yeah.
It was almost exactly the same thing. And he heard his sister's voice here. And like everything just kind of stops all at once. And then the doctor just starts losing his fucking mind. Because apparently, because he was just putting the pieces together or whatever, and apparently Hay's power is directly tied to what caused the Heaven's Gate incident. Like something about his power triggered it.
Yeah, because isn't that like they kind of imply that Hay's power is more complicated than we initially thought?
Yes.
There's also another classic moment of Hay almost getting caught and somehow getting out of it.
Yeah, because first of all, so the whole thing when he's fighting the Blood Guy, right? So the whole thing with the Blood Guy is his blood is the catalyst. He gets his blood on something, he snaps his finger, and then whatever the blood is touching just kind of disappears. So like, you can just fucking like snap holes into people or buildings or whatever the fuck. And in almost every case that we've seen it, when the blood lands on, we even see it in this episode because some blood gets on a tree or whatever. And he snaps his finger, and the whole fucking tree just kind of disintegrates, like just falls over. But when it lands on his mask, just that little tiny piece comes off, and he's completely fine.
Yeah, his powers are they got whatever the fuck he feels like mode, I guess.
I guess his main character plot armor is just too strong.
I love the fact that he's sort of exposed, but not 100%, and it's another case of like he gets caught again, and they're like, wait a minute. I think I've seen you before, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. It was like, you look familiar, but I kind of need to see more than just your eye to figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, if only she knew. It was the guy that she runs into constantly.
It was the guy that she last saw buying women's underwear.
Yeah.
So like, the doctor freaks out. He's like, that guy, he's the guy who's, his power is tied to this. He's the key to doing the whole thing and making it happen. And then, Hay gets Mao out, and they're all having their big conversation about like, hey, what happened in there? What did you hear? What they say? What they do? And he's like, well, they told me everything. And apparently there's this big conspiracy that's going to result in, every contractor in the world just kind of disappearing. Yes. And Hay gets real mad because he's like, you're trying to tell me Amber's the good guy? Like, fuck that. And he like punches the bench and like shatters it and just fucking leaves.
It was like, damn, dude. Like,
you're really that mad about it, right? All right. Like, God forbid she's doing something good. Like,
I know, right?
She's fighting for equal rights and trying to prevent fucking genocide. Like, that bitch.
Oh, man. Yeah, that was quite a moment.
Yeah.
So then after that, we kind of get a bit of a reveal on what's going on with September 11th.
Yeah. So after he had left, he basically like had like this big like collection of information or whatever about the whole thing, and he ends up confronting his boss and basically just being like, you're in on this, like you're trying to do this, whatever. And he's like, yeah, I am, and I was kind of hoping to keep you from finding out until the last second because you're a real good agent and I like you, but you're a contractor, so
You
it's
have
what
to
it
die.
is. Yeah.
Um,
And he wasn't having that, so he had like a cup of tea or something, or it was like a cup of, or what was it, like a bottle of booze or something? He fucking killed them all with a bottle of booze.
yeah.
But he did get shot a few times, and ultimately ended up dying.
I like how
Which is very sad.
they don't show you what exactly happened in there at first until after he's like, I don't need to pay my price this time, and then it cuts to showing the other guys. It's like, goddamn, he fucking wrecked
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, he was just like, I may be about to die, but I ain't going alone.
Yeah, and it just cuts to that scene. It's like, holy shit.
Yeah. And April and July are still kicking though, and they thank Kirihara, who was involved in all this. We haven't mentioned her much, but
She
they
doesn't
thank
really
her
do
for.
much. She's just kind of a background object in
Yeah,
this one.
she was scapegoated and arrested by Pandora real quick, and then they were like, "All right, you're good to go. Bye."
They just needed a few more excuses to have like close up ass shots of her because that just is like anytime she's on screen, I swear to God.
Mm. But yeah, basically like April and July are just like, hey, thanks for giving a shit about him. We appreciate it, but we're out.
Yeah. This was another one of those like pairs of episodes that were clearly setting up for like the finale.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. There's probably gonna be a lot in the next set of episodes. They're gonna be kind of just throwing everything at the wall, tying up all the loose ends.
Yeah. It's crazy because we'll be officially done with Darker Than Black.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Crazy. What a ride that's been.
Yeah, right. We've been on that one for a while.
Yeah. But yeah, so next week we're gonna wrap it up.
Mm-hmm.
So look forward to that. And then the supercut will be out. Oh boy. But now on to our actual topic for this episode. We are doing our second episode in what I've decided to just call Spooky Film Month 2025.
Yeah.
So this will be our second film for the month. Also, I'm naming it that because I feel like next year we're probably going to do this again.
Probably.
Yeah, so Matt, this was your first pick of our 4 films. What movie are we going to be covering today?
We're talking about 1997's Cube.
Yes. Ironically, we had, as we alluded to last week, we had both picked films from 97, both of which are like psychological in nature, and both of which were kind of cult classics that did really well.
Yeah. In this case, as we, because I think you were looking into it while we were watching it, this movie had an incredibly small budget, even for the 90s.
Yeah, 135,000 Canadian,
which is wild. Like that's an incredibly small budget for a movie, and it ended up doing very well.
So I was reading deeper into it. Apparently, the studio that did all of the CG, apparently they did it 100% for free because they were like supporting the artists.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome.
So they did get a bit of a bone thrown to them because there isn't a ton, but there is a decent amount of CGI thrown throughout the film.
Yeah, and it's noticeable when it happens.
Yeah, I mean it's 97. It doesn't look terrible, but it does look 97.
Yeah, because there's a scene right in the beginning. Actually, I guess like one of the first scenes of the movie where a random character who this is the only bit of him we see. I don't even think he's named. Is like
He does
kind of crawling.
He does have a name. He's listed in the cast. He is Alderson.
Okay. Well, he's just kind of going through and going to from room to room, and he steps in the middle of this room, and all of a sudden he just kind of like breaks up into cubes because a giant like I don't even know what the fuck we call that.
Apple slicer.
It was like it was like an apple slicer, but made out of like wire. Just kind of like swung down and just chopped him into pieces, and then like folded up, and that was like a super CG, like obvious CG like effect when it was folding back up to the ceiling. It just looked
Yeah,
very
that
awkward.
that and when his like body falls apart, it's like
Yeah.
ew. Like yeah, this was yeah 97. But hey, it doesn't look awful. It just looks very.
I bet in 97 it looked fantastic.
I mean, for the budget, yeah. Um, what's really funny though is that character literally appears in that one scene, but he's
Mhm.
on like the cover of the film, like he's like kind of in all the promotional marketing, and he dies within like
Yeah.
the first 5 minutes.
Yeah. And then they never even like encounter his body at any point either.
No, because the cube is a wonderful mystical place of confusion.
Yes. Yes, it is. Um, so like in the movie when the movie like actually like fully starts, like the first character we meet is Quentin, who's just a lovely human being. I think it's
Yeah.
sorry.
Um, yeah, he appears.
Forest Wind.
Oh, you're roboting.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Um,
Robotic.
oh. Okay, sorry about that. Another technical delay. Um, yeah, Quentin, the hero of the film.
Yeah, that's what you want to call him, sure. Um,
Uh,
but like he's like the first
he
character
think
we really get a close up on, and
he thinks
like
he's the hero. That's for sure.
yeah, that's for sure. And he ends up in the room where Worth is just chilling, and like this is kind of the room where just everybody kind of meets up, except for one who we meet
Mhm.
later, and just
Yes.
by chance everybody just happens to wander into this particular room. And we have 11,
Oh,
who is our
sorry. Hopefully we're back. Um,
yeah. So yeah, we think we have like 6 people total that we kind of spend most of the time in the movie with. We have
yes.
with Quentin, who's the cop. We got Dr. Helen Holloway, who's obviously a doctor, but you know, a free clinic doctor, so they're not like a specialist or anything.
I'm sure nothing
Worth,
bad will happen to her.
no, Worth, who is an engineer. Um, the Renz, who is an escape artist. Uh, Levin, who is just like a college student, I think, but she's like real good at math. And Kazan, who is a mentally challenged individual they encounter partway through the movie.
Yeah, they use a few words where I'm like, oh, this was the '90s, all right, to
Yeah,
describe them.
yeah, for
Um,
sure.
you can fill in the
Um,
blanks there.
and there's many other ways that you can watch this movie and say, oh yeah, this is the '90s, because some of the acting is questionable.
Well, most of these were like Canadian like unknowns at the time. Like, and honestly, most of them, other than I know Levin's actor went on to star in Star Trek, but
Mm-hmm.
most of these other actors had careers, but nothing I recognized immediately.
The only one out of this cast that I know, aside from the Levin actor, would be the guy who played Renz.
Mm.
And
Oh, Wayne Robinson, yeah,
yeah, and I mean, I've probably seen him in other things too, but the first thing that comes to mind is an old Mary Kate and Ashley Halloween movie.
hell yeah. um,
And he was like a grave digger or something, but he was like afraid of his own shadow in that movie.
yeah,
There was a really
it's
interesting change of character here.
you know it's funny, Wikipedia,
What?
because Wikipedia only gives a select filmography. It doesn't want to list that, but it does list that he was he had a one-off appearance in Miss Spider's Sunny Patch Kids. So
Apparently,
oh,
he was in Pippi Longstocking.
oh, and the Incredible Hulk as a boat captain.
Hmm. Oh, he was in the Neverending Story. Oh, it's a series, Neverending Story.
Ah,
I
yeah.
see. It's an animated series. Oh, he's in Dolores Claiborne. Interesting.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
And the Incredible Hulk.
Yeah. Yeah. Other than that,
Okay,
though,
so he's been around.
yeah, just a lot of bit parts here and there, which most of these
Hmm.
guys are pretty much known for.
Yeah. Uh, and like it was funny too because when he comes on the scene and he's like doing his whole like, oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm the only one who's gonna get out of this alive because I'm the Wrens. My escaping is my forte. That's what I do. And he's the first one to die.
Yeah, because that's poetic. Like, because his whole like shtick like works for like a few, and
Hmm.
they're like, okay, this guy's gonna help us get out of here, and then they encounter this one room where it's like, hmm, none of my tricks discover anything, but the room has an odd feeling about it.
Hmm.
Well, surely it's not a problem. And then he goes in, and the next thing you know, his face is melting off.
Yeah, he gets sprayed with some acid, and his face just goes bye bye, and like, honestly, his head kind of caves in like after a little bit.
Yeah, like
I'm,
it's like the
I'm sure that
first.
smelled lovely.
Yeah, it was like the most gruesome death too in the movie because I was like, oh, like
And it's funny too, because if memory serves, that's the last death that the cube technically causes.
yeah, yeah,
Because every death from that point onward is completely just in house. Like they're just killing each other.
yes. Um, so yeah, after he's killed there, they're basically like, well, shit, what do we do now?
Hmm. Now let's see, like right before that, where like it was just a really awkward scene. I don't remember exactly how like it it started. I think like one of them were talking about like how like they needed a drink or whatever, and he like gets real close to the doctor, and he holds up like he rips off one of the buttons off her shirt. And he goes, "Suck on it, keeps the saliva flowing." It was like it was just really awkward, like getting real close. There's a lot of those in this movie, where there's a lot of like those scenes where they get real close to each other's faces. They're like, everything's gonna be fine. We just gotta look at what's in front of us.
Yeah. Um, yeah, and eventually we kind of discover that Worth was apparently involved with like the creation of not the cube itself, but the outer shell.
Yeah, which like, and Quentin gets like real mad at him about it, and it's not
Yeah,
like he wasn't involved in any like the specifics of it. It was just like, no, I drew a picture. That was my contribution, and I had no idea what it was for. It was literally I was given a job. They said draw a picture of this giant like shell. It's like, okay, I'll do that, and I get paid a lot of money for it, and that's that.
yeah. And then surprise, you're inside this torture chamber now.
Hmm.
um, we get a little backstory on all the characters here too. Like um, we learn that Quentin like has like a bunch of kids, and he's a police officer, but his wife, I forget, did she leave him or?
Yeah, well, it's really awkward too in the whole thing because like he's like, "Oh yeah, I got three kids." He's like, "They're this age and this age or whatever." And the doctor lady, who's like, she's an older lady, and she's like, "Oh, I wouldn't survive that." And she's like, "Yeah, she didn't either." And like, there's like
Oh,
the really awkward moment between them, and then she's like, "Oh, she's not dead. She just left me." And it's like, "Oh, you fucking
yeah,
asshole."
yeah. It was like one of those like like you hear it and you're like, oh no, and then you're like, oh, it's like well that's just wrong.
Yeah, like why would you word it that way, you fucking idiot?
But
Um,
eventually they find out that Levin is good at math because she's a college student and she has nerd glasses, so that totally makes sense. Um,
yeah. And you notice how
and
like so she's like freaking out throughout the whole beginning of the movie, right?
yeah,
And then like the second they figure out the whole prime numbers thing, which by the way, just a little sidebar, there's a reason why it had to be like a college student because nobody, unless you use prime numbers every day in your job, nobody's just gonna be like, oh, these numbers are prime. Like that doesn't no, nobody's gonna think that. Nobody thinks that way. Only somebody who's studying prime numbers at that moment would realize that.
yeah,
Um, But yeah, her personality as soon as they figured that out, her personality completely turns on his head, and all of a sudden she's like the like kind of girl, you know?
Yeah. And then they start like kind of using this weird like math equation thing, and they start going from like room to room, and things are kind of going okay for a little bit. I forget. Did they run into uh, Kazin next year, or is it shortly after?
I think it was definitely after what's his face got his face melted, the
Yeah,
Rengs. I think it was a little bit after that, and then he kind of. I think it was when they were moving along with the prime numbers thing, and they were like, "Oh no, we hit a dead end. Like everything, we're gonna have to backtrack." And they're like, "Oh no, there's a hatch above us," and like Quentin climbs up and opens it up, and he just falls,
yeah.
and that's how they meet up with Kazan.
Kazan. Yeah,
Some interesting names too.
yeah. I think it's supposed to be like I can't tell what the time frame of this movie is supposed to be. I'm assuming it's like some dystopian future setting.
I don't know because like the way it's all set up, it seems like they're just like regular everyday people, and that this thing was just built somewhere, and like
Mm.
because this isn't like a thing that they're like, oh yeah, this kind of shit happens all the time. My neighbor was taken and thrown into a giant sphere. Like this isn't like something that happens. It was just like a weird like what the fuck kind of thing. So I don't know. Like I always kind of took it as like this is just the regular world. Just somebody built this thing and said, hey, you know what would be cool? We threw some randos in it.
Yeah, and just watch what happened.
Yeah.
Um, so what happened next after they got Kazan to the group?
Um. Well, they kind of like reorganized like how they were, um, how they were set up. Like like the doctor lady was taking care of Kazan. Um, Quentin's just getting more and more unhinged as the movie goes on.
Well, yeah, because
Um,
he can't really deal with Kazan because Kazan is kind of he he's disabled and it shows really fast.
yeah. Uh,
Because there's also that point where because at one point Worth makes that whole comment basically saying like these numbers might be completely meaningless
mm,
when they're doing the whole prime number thing, which is kind of supposed to foreshadow that they're not really on the right path.
mm,
Um, because eventually there's a point where what's his name? I already forgot. Where Quinn goes into one of the rooms, and it seems like it's the next room, but then suddenly like he's in like this like he sees this like wire trap thing that's about to
it's like
fucking
a
like
it's like a bird cage kind of.
yeah, and it's gonna like wire like squeeze him into this like rope, and it's like
Yeah.
oh that's dangerous, and he like barely survives that one.
Mm,
And at that point he's like all right, so this system doesn't work at all then.
mm.
Because there was also the scene where they were going through that room with the sound spikes, which that one was like
Yeah. That was probably the most like the highest anxiety point of the movie for me was like where they have to be completely silent going through that, and the fact that like they have to get into it from above, so they have to like kind of monkey bar their way across to the next room, and like especially too because like they don't know right away which room they have to go to next, so like they got to figure out like okay which one's prime, like where which one is the correct path to go from the quiet room. Um, and that would just be really difficult for me personally because it's shit happens, man. You can try to be quiet. Look, I've tried to tiptoe around in the dark many times, try not to wake children, and it's not as easy as you think.
yeah. Well, because it seems like when you're trying to be quiet, that's when like the fucking floorboards creak as loud as they possibly can.
Especially since they're all like the fact that they all took their boots off, right, and are going around barefoot definitely helps to a degree. But they also have the boots kind of like tied together and hanging around their necks. So like all it would take is just for fucking one of them to let go and just fall.
Or imagine like you just like fucking ripped one in there.
Yeah,
Like
right.
like
They're just like, oh
imagine
no, I got the hiccups. Like,
yeah, or like a stomach
um,
growl or something.
yeah.
But of
Um,
course, like when they do that whole room, like they all get through okay enough. Kazan kind of struggles a little bit, but he makes it. And then, of course, Quentin's the last one who goes. And, of course, Kazan has to make a sound right before he gets to the end. And it's like...
Yeah, he's like at the door, and he makes a sound. And he barely manages to make it into the door. And he gets real mad about that. Like, he kind of like slams Kazan against the wall and is like freaking out. And it's just like, dude, like, what do you expect?
Yeah.
You're lucky you made it as far as you did without anything happening. Like,
it's funny because there are points where you kind of get why Quentin's like slowly losing his mind, but at the same time, it's like, dude, it's like chill.
well, you also kind of have to take, obviously, like, where things go, there's no excuse. But you also have to take into account, like, they're all getting frustrated. They're all getting, like, pissed off. None of them have had food or water. We have no idea how long they've been. They could have been in there for days, you know? And they've had no food or water. Like, they're dehydrated. They're, you know, probably not really sleeping either. So, like, they're not in a good physical state, let alone mental.
The air quality is probably horrendous in there. I mean, there's like fucking there's fucking corpses laying around. So,
and then I love, like, the whole, like, I don't even remember what they were arguing about, but they're all arguing about something. And the doctor lady was just like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And then she, like, hops into the room and starts, like, gasping for air. And they're like, oh, no, there's gas in that room. Get her out quick. And she's like, oh, no, it's okay. Just swallow my button. Swallow my button. That's all it is. I was just choking.
Yeah. There's also that scene where like Kazan has to take a piss, and they're like, "What do we do?" He's like, "Just let him go in the corner." It's like,
he just like whips his dick out, like just in front of everybody, and like, what's in it, Levin? And she's like, ugh.
Yeah. It's funny how that's the only time that happens. You think that would happen a few more times, because so you never know.
I mean, again, they're not eating or drinking, so
true. But yeah, eventually they make their way to like the outer edge of the cube.
Mm-hmm.
And they find this like one of the hatches literally leads to like basically just an abyss.
Yeah.
And they get the idea like maybe we can like rope ladder our way down by using all of our clothes.
Yeah, they all undress and like tie all their clothes together and try to. Oh yeah, we didn't mention after the whole bit with Kazan, like, and Quentin's like losing his mind or whatever. Like, they end up having this big argument, and basically the doctors insinuate some things about him, like basically saying that he's like was like beating his kids or that he had a thing for girls, like young girls or something. Like, I don't know where all that came from, but it turns out it's true.
Yeah.
And obviously he didn't take too kindly to any of that being said. So when they decide to dangle the doctor out and she almost falls, he's the only one who's holding on to her and just kind of like decides to let her drop.
Yeah, which was like, I was like, because like when she did that, I was like, that wasn't a great choice, especially with the mentally unstable person in the room.
Especially since he was the first one to be like, I'm gonna be the one to do it. Like, no, you should have just let him do it.
Yeah, at that point. But no, they used logic and reasoning, and they were like, well, I'm the lightest, so it makes the most sense for me to go. And I'm just like, I guess, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's that scene like where he like has her, and it's like they're about to pull her up, and he's got like this big smile. He's like, yeah, we did it. And then he's like, wait a minute. She fell. Oh no.
Whatever will we do?
And then they just abandon all their clothes there for the rest of the film, by the way.
Yeah, that was weird. Well, did they lose them? Like, because
no, they pulled them up because like they had like the rope mostly in the room. Because actually, I think I commented when we were watching. I'm like, did they lose their clothes? I'm like, no, they're on the floor there, and they just never put them back on.
Huh. Well, wasn't it after this that like they were all like upset about her dying, and then like, they were like, oh, we're gonna take a break, we're gonna take a quick nap or whatever, and then like Quentin like picked up Levin like while she was asleep and just kind of like went into a different room with her. It was like, all right, we're gonna leave them behind and go off on our own, and then he's like getting really uncomfortably close with her.
Yeah, he tries to do. You can fill in the blanks.
Yeah.
Why did both movies we watched have that? I just realized that.
No, this one wasn't as bad.
No. No. Somehow. I just realized that's another weird parallel.
The 90s.
Yeah, well, Japan, I can understand because Japan doesn't give a crap. But that scene was uncomfortable. I was like, okay, that was not a direction I was thinking we were gonna
Yeah.
go.
So yeah, that was something. But then Worth comes out and fucking they smashed him in the head with a boot or something. But I'm pretty sure Quentin ended up overpowering him and beating the shit out of him. And then
He
from
did.
that point onward, he just starts tossing him into the rooms to see if they're trapped.
Yeah. Don't they also discover here too that the cubes move?
Yeah, it was around here. Yeah, that they figure out that guys, you know what it was? It was because they ended up back in the room with the Ren's body.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because actually the first room he tossed him in was that room, and like he
Oh
just
yeah,
starts
because
like hysterically laughing.
he looks over and he starts losing his shit, and I was just like oh, it was like oh, so they've been literally going in circles.
And it's like,
Not
oh,
quite,
we
but
haven't been going in circles. The rooms have.
yeah.
And ultimately, Levin ends up figuring out like how it all works. And Worth has been putting in his 2 cents about like the design of the shell and everything. He's like, oh, there's one exit. These are the dimensions. So like basically like this, this is the room that would lead to what would be the bridge between the cube and the outside. So basically, they just kind of have to wait, or they're close to it, something like that, because they end up, they're moving along, and as they're going, Worth slams the door on Quentin's head,
neck. Yeah.
yeah, to like kind of hold him back, and they end up escaping from him because, well, he was still chasing after them, and what ended up happening was Worth hid in the room below. And then when Quentin stepped on the door, he opened it and dropped him and got his head pretty good because he was bleeding. He was bleeding pretty
Yeah.
good.
I'm sitting there thinking like, oh, I'm sure he won't be a problem later.
Yeah, right. And they move along and they're like, all right, we're figuring it out. And they're like, all right, we're in the room we need to be in. And then like as Kazan's getting ready to move into that room, they start shifting again. So he moves to a different spot, and they're like, fuck, we got to find him.
Yeah.
And they do end up finding him because it turns out he wasn't too far away.
Because they could hear him because he started panicking and making the noise he was making. They were like, follow the sound.
Yeah. And they end up getting him back to the room they need to be in time for the bridge to show up. And then it shows up, and they're like, yes, we did it. They open the door, and they can see the light. And they're like, we did it. It's awesome. And Worth just kind of slumps down, and he's just like, yeah, I think I'm going to stay.
Yeah, I was like the whole time I was like, why are you? I'm like, just go, just fucking go. Like, why are you taking your time? And then of course, surprise, as like Worth and Levin are having this kind of sweet, heartwarming moment. Surprise, Levin gets stabbed from the back because surprise, Quinn's still alive because you didn't make sure he died.
He apparently somehow had taken one of the handles off of the cube doors and used it as a weapon.
Also, how did he fucking make his way there? That's still my question.
Yeah, it must have just been pure chance because he doesn't know fucking math.
No. That was one of the moments in this film where I was kind of like, yeah, bullshit, but okay, I'll let it accept it because it's a movie.
Well, I mean, they knew that they weren't that far away from where they needed to be when they figured out the whole situation. And then when Kazan was freaking out, it's possible that he was following that. Like following the sound. Although you'd think they would have heard him open the door to get in to their room.
Yeah.
Because it's not quiet at all.
No.
To the point where when they had to go through the quiet room, they made it a point to be like, oh, the sound of the door must be specifically like programmed to not set off the sensor.
Yeah.
Because it's a very loud sound as they open the door.
Yeah, and turning the valve, the
it's
levers too.
It's like a vault hatch. So yeah, he fucking stabs Levin, and Worth is real mad about it.
Yeah, because that's kind of, it's like very subtly implied that Worth kind of likes Levin.
Yeah.
Um,
At this point, as he says in the movie, the only thing he has to live for is a fairly impressive collection of pornography.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
But
so
yeah,
they kind of have their little, fight or whatever. And he's like, Kazan, go through the door, get out, whatever. And he opens the door to leave. And like, uh, Quentin like goes to follow after him. And he's like, so at this point, Kazan's on the other side. He's out. And Quentin's got him like by the arm or something, like trying to pull him back. But
yeah,
then Worth grabs him from the other side and is pulling him back. And then the cubes start to move.
yeah. And Quentin goes squish very quick.
Yeah. Thank God.
And that fucking scene of like the cube moving, you just see the fucking blood smear. I was like, oh, he's done.
Yeah. So at this point, Levin's dead, and Worth is dying because he was stabbed.
Yeah, and he's basically just kind of like, he kind of just crawls over towards like Levin's body, and he just kind of he accepts his fate by that point.
Yeah, and just dies next to her. And then the last scene of the movie is just Kazan, the only survivor, walking into the light.
Yeah,
because it's just like this big ass bright LED light, and that's where it ends out.
Yeah, and it's very ambiguous. Like it kind of like just kind of ends, and it's like, was it a happy ending or was it just an ending?
Yeah, well, there is a sequel, a prequel, and as we learned,
A
Japan
Japanese
4 years
remake.
ago made a reboot.
Yeah. Yeah, from what I've heard, the sequel is pretty bad, but people really like the third movie that's like the prequel.
Yeah, they did some weird shit with the sequel. And they kind of like do the same kind of formula each time, where it's like just a random group of people, they all get thrown in and have to figure this shit out. The sequel is really weird. They do some weird timey-wimey shit in that movie. But the prequel is much more like this one.
Well, because it kind of explains like what's going
A
on.
little bit, yeah. And also, yeah, just gonna throw this out there. Kazan is a little bit more important than he seems in this movie.
Yeah, because they kind of I read the summary of the third movie, and there's a bit of a explanation for why he's the way he is.
Yes.
I've heard
spoilers. Spoilers here if anybody wants to go and watch the prequel after this. Essentially, what it is Kazan was involved in the making of the cubes, and he I don't know he rubbed some of the higher ups the wrong way.
Yeah,
I don't remember. It's been a while since I watched it, so I don't remember the exact details. But he rubbed them the wrong way for some reason. Ultimately, they like pretty much lobotomized him and then threw him in the cube. That's essentially what happened.
And from what I've heard, the Japanese remake is atrocious. So
I might have to watch it just out of curiosity.
Yeah. We had talked about the budget for this movie. So obviously 350,000 Canadian. It made 9 million.
Which is quite a significant turnover.
Yeah.
Like usually you hear a movie makes 9 million, even like in the 90s, and you're like, oh, that's not great. It's not awful, but it's not great either. But like when you consider the amount of money that was actually spent on it, that's a significantly huge turnover.
Yeah, because if you look at the sequels, like the sequel doesn't say what the budget was, but it only made 3.5 million, which isn't anything to scoff at, especially if it didn't have a super huge budget either. And then Cube Zero had, there's no info on how much it made. So yeah. Either way, it was a smash success. It basically legitimized the Canadian indie scene of filmmaking. And it gained a massive cult following in the process.
Yeah, I watched it for the first time. It must have been back when we were living in the apartment. So it was a good like 6 or 7 years ago, I think, at this point. I really liked this movie for all its 90s cheesiness. It's a really fun Like, it's a fun psychological thriller for this season, and it leaves a lot like up in the air, and I kind of like the mystery of it,
Yeah,
where you just never know.
yeah. It kind of just the whole time you're like, where is this going? And like once the big payoff comes off, you're like, oh. And then you're still confused, but at least you kind of like you were like, oh, that's cool, I guess.
For sure. Well, what did you think of the movie?
I liked it. I gave it like 3.5 stars on Letterbox. It was enjoyable. It was definitely a little confusing at first.
Yeah, I mean, it's not the best movie of all time, but it's a perfectly functional movie for the season.
Yeah, like if I think it'd be cool to like do like a rating, like a ranking after each like movie we watch, like of what we have, and just kind of build off of it.
Mhm.
If I had to say right now, I think I liked Perfect Blue as a movie more, but I think the concept of this one was more interesting.
Mhm. That's fair.
Um, yeah.
For me, I mean, you have a history with Perfect Blue, so I can understand. I personally would put this one higher just because I still don't know what the fuck I watched when I watched Perfect Blue. I
That's
probably
fair.
have to watch it a few more times before I could really fully comprehend. Maybe even read the book before I could really fully comprehend the story and like what it was trying to do.
It was trying to blow your mind. That's what it was trying to do, and it
Well,
succeeded.
it's definitely succeeded, but I'm still fucking trying to figure that one. I think I feel about that movie kind of like the way you feel about Attack on Titan. Only Attack on Titan actually
Oh,
answers questions.
it was. You mean it lives in your head rent free, and you think about it at times, and you're like, you just try to figure shit out.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, Perfect Blue is one of those movies.
for sure, for sure.
But yeah. So next week we are going to be continuing on with Spooky Film Month. With my second and final pick. Did we reveal what the next film was going to be, or are we going to? Yeah, I think we
We,
did.
we can we can reveal it.
Yeah. So for next week, we are going to be talking about The Fly. Not the original movie. The we're going to be talking about the David Cronenberg remake starring Jeff Goldblum. Um, as the tagline says, "Be afraid, be very afraid."
I'm looking forward to it. I have not seen this movie yet, so this will be fun. I do like that
Okay.
we both picked movies that the other hasn't seen.
Yeah. No, that's actually kind of fun. Like, because we'll have genuine. The watch parties have been really fun because it's been there's been genuine reactions to them, which has been
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah, so next week we will be talking about The Fly, and I'm looking forward to that one because that movie's an experience is the best way to
yeah,
put it.
for sure.
But yeah, so once again, guys, thanks for putting up with our technical difficulties. This was a bit of a struggle, but we made it through. We made it through with it,
Mhm.
like the week. Um, but once again, guys, thank you for joining us on Geek Addicts. You can find Geek Addicts on all the major podcasting platforms, particularly Apple Podcast and Spotify. Be sure to check us out on the Superpod Network. That is superpodnetwork.com, an awesome site where you can find a whole bunch of different videos, blogs, games. There's no games on the site. What am I saying? Videos, blogs, podcasts. You can also check out the blog this week. We are doing our annual Spooktober, where we're all covering a bunch of different horror games. We've had a few come out this week. I have my blog on Carrier coming out fairly soon, so be on the lookout for that. And if you'd like to participate in the game club, this month's game is House of the Dead, and there's a very convenient remake available on Switch and all the modern platforms. That's very cheap. So I'd look into that now. And if you'd like to participate, more power to you. But anyways, guys, once again for listening, and we'll see you all later.
Have a good one.